Hello and welcome to Herman Hits the Road. I am Ads, and in this video, with Storm Hohe above us in the pouring rain, we're going to see if we can fix the squeak from Herman's engine bay. Let me just demonstrate. Hopefully it's going to, well, not hopefully, but you see what I mean when I start Herman. Can you hear that little squeak there? Maybe if I turn the lights on. So it seems to come on a cold start, starts to squeak on a cold start, or when I turn the lights on. So sounds to me like the alternator belt. More power is being drawn from the alternator when I'm stick lights on, so you can hear that squeak. Sometimes it actually squeals. So yeah, it's getting worse. And it dies down when it gets warm. So I bought a couple of belts. I think there might be 3 in the area that we're going to be looking in today. Of course, there is also the cam belt. Well, we're not going to be looking at that. It's just the auxiliary belt and the alternator belt. Stops. And then it starts again. Yeah, that's not good. Well, the weather has changed. The ground is completely sodden, but the sun has come out. In fact, it's quite warm. Let me show you what I'm doing. Under here, there's this thing, right? It's loose at the moment because I've been loosening it. There's a bolt just here. This is a 17mm that holds it on, and there's a 11mm just there. See that? So we've got to take this off, and then we'll see the belts. Now we've also jacked it up because, well, quite simply, it's obviously got more space, but this is going to drop down and we're going to have to drag this out. Come on, a bit more. There you go. So there's the belts. So it's a bit cramped in here, but you can see all these pulleys. In fact, there's only 2 pulleys that we can see, 2 belts. There's this one and there's this one, and this one is connected to the alternator. That is the alternator just there. Now the alternator is connected to the rest of the engine or whatever by this bolt, which goes straight through. The other end is just over there, so I need to loosen off this because it's on a kind of a pivot. It's only connected here and at the top. Now if I loosen the top, it pivots on this. I need to loosen this off and adjust this. Now if you see the belt here, it's quite loose. It's quite loose. Now it's very difficult, very tight. Now Chaz couldn't actually get this. Chaz up there, look. Chaz couldn't actually get his arm in here. Like a bit of a struggle, but excuse the struggleness because it's very cramped. Now I've got my arm stuck. I've got my ratchet on here, so that's the adjustment just up here, and it's round the top of, I'm tapping, you can't see that, it's right at the top there. I don't know if you can see that screw. Can you see the screw just, see the end of the screw just in, no you can't see, but there's basically a screw that goes right across, and we can adjust the distance or the tilt of the alternator, and what that does is actually loosen or tighten the belt. But the first thing you need to do is not shine that in my face is to loosen this bit off. I'm touching both ends of this thing. This is a 17mm. This is quite loose actually, Chaz. Yeah, I mean, and the screw at the top is quite loose. So someone's been in with the belts before and haven't tightened it up. That's why it's gone loose again. You said, in case you didn't catch that, someone's been in here and not tightened up the bolts. Can you see that? So I'm tightening it that without actually loosening this off. So I need to loosen this off first. Let's do that and see what happens. So get that on there. Oh, nice. Oh, this is so loose.
Yes. Aye. Turning, isn't it?
It is turning. Well, I don't know what's on the other side. I could be turning and turning and turning.
See if you can move the alternator now.
At the top of the alternator is the adjustment bolt. Turning it clockwise tightens the belt.
That seemed a bit more positive what you were doing there.
I can't hear you.
That seemed more positive what you were doing there. Do you want to try and put this back on? I'll try and tighten it up.
Oh, I see. Right, yeah, go on then.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good. That feels very good.
Yeah.
How's the belt? Try the belt.
I think that's it, Chaz.
How does it feel?
It's
definitely
quite...
got tighter, yeah?
Sorry?
Has it got tighter?
I think so. It feels like it's, I mean, I could twist it the same amount, but it springs back.
Let me just show you something. Oh, Chaz has come.
Look at that. A GoPro on the metal. That's just a magnet right there. That is a fantastic idea that I've had. Just saying. Just saying. Oh.
Hand up there.
Getting a bit up close and personal with Herman. So you may be wondering where Chaz has been doing all the tightening from. Right near the foot pedals here is a plate which we've removed, and he's been squeezing this very small area where the driver's feet are with this spanner here. So yeah, you can see there's a couple of screws here. Screw thread there, just there. So yeah, he's been coming in from the top rather than coming in from the bottom, which is where I was doing it. Seems to be a bit more space to swing a ratchet or a spanner coming from the top rather than coming from underneath.
Now that, I'd say, is beauty. See that one? See, look how loose that one is. Look, see?
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
that one to that one. See? 90 degrees and back, yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't doing that before.
No, it wasn't, no. So 90 degrees and back. Now, if that belt still squeaks,
yeah,
when we start it up, we'll need to go tighten a little bit more. But you can get tools, that, you know, to gauge them. But that's a rule of thumb: if you find the longest run of the belt.
I think the top one's maybe the longest.
Yeah,
one.
but you can't get to it. No, it isn't. The top one is because you got you got the tension in there and another pulley there. So no, the crankshaft pulley and the alternator pulley, yeah, they look like the longest ones to me. Well, they look fairly equal actually. But yeah, that's good. That's good. But look at that. Look, see?
Yeah.
So we'll tighten this one up, same way, because it'll be the same adjuster. All your pulleys are lined up, and a general thing people say is if you turn your belt over and you've got cracks in it, if you've got more than 7 or 8 cracks in an inch, yeah. So these crack, yeah.
Yeah.
If you got more than 7 or 8 in an inch, change the belt.
Right.
But if you've got any cracks in it, there's none in these. These belts are quite good. If you've got any cracks in them, change them.
Yeah, they were changed the last service. I'm sure that. Well, they said that.
Well, yeah, but they wasn't changed properly because I never that
wasn't tight. I think it was perfect when we started off.
Yeah.
And then it got the squeaking got worse and worse. So I think the belt is probably stretched or bedded in.
Yeah.
And it just needed adjusting.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So we'll tighten this one up a little bit, but I think he's all good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all good. Springs back 90 degrees and comes back again. Lovely.
How does that? I mean, could that be too tight? Have we done it too?
No. That's lovely. That's really nice.
Right.
But that one, look, I can turn it right round.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see the difference? Look, and back. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one can go right round.
Yeah. That's
almost 180 degrees.
Yeah.
So he's too loose. So he's got to be tightened up.
So that's the auxiliary belt.
They're both auxiliary belts. They run the auxiliaries to the engine.
Right.
So the alternator's an auxiliary.
So but that's the alternator belt we've been adjusting.
That's
so this
the alternator.
one here is for the aircon, and
that just runs the aircon. That belt.
Yeah.
And nothing else, because that's your aircon unit. There's your clutch, and there's your tensioner. Now sometimes, not with these ones, but sometimes these are spring loaded as opposed to adjusted like that.
Yeah.
And
so they adjust themselves.
Well, no, they don't.
Oh.
They don't. The springs go weak in them, and you get a thing called a belt bounce, where you see the belt, you see the pulley, you see the tensioner doing that and jumping. And then you have there's a way we can have a pin on them. You line the two holes up and put the pin in and tighten the belt up to get the right tension on it.
Right.
But this isn't like that. This is the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. So yes, the same sort of thing as the alternator. Then we just have to screw that bolt in.
Yeah. Lube it up, loosen it all off nicely, and go again with it. But you can see, I can't even get my hand in there.
No.
You know, if I get my arm, and can you imagine if I get stuck having to drag me around underneath on holiday with you? It would be
beauty. What's that noise? That's just Jazz moaning again.
Yeah, but he has stopped screaming in the last 28 miles, which is quite good. Yeah. Have you watered him and fed him today? No.
I've got my own personal Chaz dragging around underneath.
Beauty.
And we pull up and he says, your exhaust needs replacing.
Yeah. Can I have a rest now? My arm hurts. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's get on with it. Oh.
So you loosen up the two bolts in there now.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I mean this one I'll loosen just because it goes into here, so it must pivot on this one.
Yeah. As you're screwing
that in, it's putting pressure on. It's coming through this block here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then pushing against that tab there.
That's right. And there's a lock nut top and bottom.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
So when we wind this in, we'll wind this one down and this one up to lock it in place.
Right.
But you never want to over tighten because you've got bearings in the auxiliaries, like there's bearings in this air conditioning pump.
It's actually pushing it away.
And it isn't. Oh, I see. I think what you might have to do is hold that one.
Yeah.
Then turn that one. Are you with me?
That's not going to help it.
Yeah, it will, because it'll pull the bolt forward through this nut. I'm turning that nut with it. Look, watch.
That doesn't look right at all.
Can you see it? Now it's moved. Look.
Yeah, move your hands out of the way a sec. That looks crooked.
Can you see it now? That bolt is bent. Is it?
Yeah, the screw thing.
Yeah, that's bent. That's what's wrong with that.
Do you think that's because of the pressure it's been put under?
I think it could have been, yeah, but I don't think it's been like it a while, hasn't it? That's why that's not been never been able to tighten up. It's bloody pissed as a fart, isn't it? See it?
Yeah.
Let's take it off. Have a look at it.
Oh, you're looking at the whole thing?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go.
Oh, watch out, because the bottom bit's going to come off as well. Like that. Take the screw out.
Got that?
Yeah, it's in two parts, watch out. Like with a spring in between them.
Oh, no.
Right.
Right, so we're at the workbench looking at the pulley system for the auxiliary belt. The tensioner, yeah. And the bolt itself is bent, you can definitely see that, but we just wanted to figure out how it all worked because we thought it was a bit weird. Chaz, over to you to explain how this works.
Yeah, so when you're trying, this tensioner wheel sits on the belt, on the other side of the belt, not the running side, and you loosen that bolt and that bolt off there when it's in situ, and you see that cut out there, that stays static and that moves up and down on it like that to tension a belt. With this now, some of these have a thread inside here, but that's moving a bit too free, and I can't see any evidence of there once being a thread in there. So
well, it definitely looks like there's a thread in there.
Does it?
It looks very worn. Looks like someone's probably drilled it out.
Well,
that's what the impression I've got.
And so you have these two nuts to lock it when it's in position. So if you screwed that screw in like that, see that's pushing that down. See that pushing that down?
Yeah, it's moving.
Yeah. So you'd hold that one, turn that one, and that would tension the belt up, and then you'd lock it off.
Yeah.
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 That's the way it's working now.
Yeah.
Whether there should be a thread in here or not to run this up, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but I have seen it. I have seen this system before on loads of vehicles without a thread in here. But it does look like there should have been a thread in there. But it might just be where that's been running in there.
True. Yeah, because it is.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of movement in there.
It has got a lot of movement in
And
there.
to me, to have a thread in here
would make sense.
It would make a lot of sense,
Yeah,
and you wouldn't need these two nuts.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with that. See that? But with that bolt is bent anyway. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's definitely.
It's really bent out of shape. So someone's over tightened it, or they've tried to tighten up, but not loosen these two nuts off properly.
Yeah.
So
and it could have been the bolt could have been bent.
Yeah.
Because it is a thin bolt compared to the hole. It moves around a bit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So but the first thing we've got to do is take that out, pull that off of there, and then we'll get a new bolt to put in there, because I'm not putting that back in, obviously.
No.
Just, you know. So see if we can find a bolt roughly the same size. But it's been in the wards. It's been knocked about a bit. This one, isn't it? Look.
It's actually bent where it's been tightened to. Let's see.
Yeah, that'll show you.
To me, it looks like the bolt itself was forced to tighten and just bent because it was too thin.
Yeah.
It wasn't up for the job.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking. Whether or not that's happened, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe someone who's actually seen one of these knows this part of the engine.
Yeah, I've
maybe
seen
able to tell us.
I have seen these pulley systems before like this that work like that.
I mean, it's a good workaround.
If you look in here, that looks like that's an engineered hole to me.
Well, I would disagree. If you turn that round, see there, and he's not going to be able to see that on the camera probably.
Looks like a trace of a thread, you think?
There is a trace of a thread, yeah.
If it's not where that's been.
All the way down, Chaz.
Is it? I'll have a look. I'll have a look.
When you catch the light on it.
Let's have a look. Yeah, I'll give you that.
That looks like it's
No,
been
you're absolutely
screwed
right.
out.
We need a new adjuster. Yeah, no, I can see that now. Yeah, I thought it might have been where that's been
wearing. Yeah,
you
but
see,
that doesn't make
being turned onto it and just scored it.
Yeah,
because
but
there's nothing there. It's not.
No.
That's that's really bad. If that's Oh yeah, look.
Because if it's supposed to work like that, then that is a very bad design.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You are right.
There you go. That's the bolt that goes in there.
That's the right side. They've made that up. I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't. I'm not going to commit to that. I don't know. Because I don't know. I mean, go online and get a manual. Have a look. And if you do get a Haynes manual, don't forget to disconnect the positive battery lead.
What? Is this a story?
It's an old thing. Whenever you used to have the old Haynes manuals years ago, any job you went through, the first thing to say was disconnect.
Oh right, yes.
The positive battery lead.
Well, that's the first thing they say.
Yeah. When changing the tyre.
So it's come to this that we're rethreading the threadless
thing.
We're going to find
in my super duper bench that I broke my other bench. This is the only thing I could find, which is a little watchmaker's one. It's a bit embarrassing really, but it's holding for now.
All we have to do is find a bolt that will fit it. Just look how clean that thread is in there now. Hopefully you can tell that on the camera, but that looks amazing from my point of view. We just need a
10 by 1.5.
Yes, this is an M10, is that right?
Yeah.
So it's an M10 and we're going to need a
that's too small.
bolt.
That thing there is just too small, so we're going to get a nice bolt for that, and that should work.
So this is what we've managed to do. So now we've got our bolt through the actual thing that we were trying to repair. Don't forget, this has been rethreaded, retapped in here. This is the high tensile steel bolt, and we're going to do the same sort of thing that we had on the original bolt, this bent thing here. Where we're going to have a nut either end, so we can definitely lock that in place. And I think all it matters to do now is to actually fit it back on Herman. That's going to go in there like that, I think. Switch that round. Something like that, I do believe. Fits nice and snug. Bit of adjustment going on there. And yeah, I think we're sorted with that, I think. Alright, so it's just a matter now of reassembling it. So there's a hole just in there. Oh, there you go, got it. Just screw that in.
Tighten it up.
Yeah, definitely tighten it up now. Yeah, don't want to tighten that anymore, I think. Yep, springy that is now.
We'll lock that off on there like that. Beauty. That's lovely. Right, you got to do those top. Huh? I don't know.
The last thing we needed to do was test for squeaky belts.
Beauty! That's a good day's work. So that's everything back together now. Belts are all nice and tight. Go through 90 degrees, ping back lovely. That's the best way really to do it if you haven't got a gauge or anything like that. Ads is very tired now. I'm very tired now. We've been out in the storm doing it all day in the wet.
Yeah, Jorge.
Manufacturing bits and pieces to make it work.
And I think I've got half of your gravel drive in my head, in my hair.
That's okay, I want it back.
Yeah.
So if you like the way we've done that and you like the things we do and you like our videos, ads videos, give us a thumbs up and think about subscribing. It'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
In fact, it would be beauty if you subscribed. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
One moment, hold on. Oh god, my hand's stuck. Come on, get my hand out of there. This is the best idea I've ever had. Thanks for watching our video. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed or leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more video updates or maybe even watch one of our previous videos. Bye bye now.